Greetings and welcome to Dadchop, where we chop it up, dad style. So I was running a update, and I ran the update, and now I'm just checking to make sure I got some sound here. Greetings. Cool, cool. Well, then I guess we are doing okay. So welcome to the Dad Lab. I'm Chuck. This is Dad Chop, and it is the hour of 1 o'clock ish, something like that. I'm a little like 8 minutes tardy. Yep, I'm in trouble. My little dude was not feeling well today, so he did not make it to class, which was not cool, but cool at the same time because I know he didn't feel well. So I'd much rather make sure he was good. I was going to mention that last week I mentioned a conversation I was having, and I'm hoping that the individual I had the conversation with didn't get offended because all I was really ultimately saying, bottom line, was that I am the center of what I do for my family, and I really honestly, proof positive, know that like without my organization and my assistance, that stuff would be bonkers. So I feel kind of good, just knowing that I am like that nucleus that kind of helps keep things flowing. It's not all me. I mean, my wife does assist. My kids don't really do anything. But I mean, my wife make meals and do things like that, and like all those things are good. I'm just saying, like, I just have a different level of what I do here at the home that I think keeps everything kind of flowing. I mean, if they had to come home and clean and do the laundry, and sometimes, you know what I'm saying, like I'll cook, um, all that, just different things I'm saying. So, really, no offense meant if it offended at all, because I didn't even identify ye as an individual of this interest. You're great, that you're a cool friend thus far. So let's maintain that. My public apology, if that is the case. Uh, let's see. Well, I guess that could take me right into cleaning chop, right? Where I say cleaning is the essence of the universe. I swear, every time I turn around, I'm cleaning something. Whether it's a little spill of something here, a little water there, somebody cooked something and somehow sprinkled seasoning or something all over the stove, which they weren't even over there by the stove. They were, you're just like, how did that even get over here? Through osmosis, it traveled. So I think that kind of stuff is funny. Um, yeah, I just, man, I'm in the process of doing laundry. Usually where I'm at now, I would like to have had more done, but I went and got some chicken wings because I'm gonna make some wings for my son because he's been asking for wings. And then I had already done. I grilled some chicken breasts previously, so I guess I'll do that over a bed of salad for something to eat this evening. Simplify that, but yeah, it's always something to clean. Then I had to rerun the snake in the drains again just to make sure everything was cleared out. So, it's like task after task. Say, like, if you were to do, uh, like, an assessment of how many steps you take, if you have one of those cool watches, uh, like one of, the counting watches, my little Sammy device. I like Samsung. But nonetheless, if you have one of your cool watches, see how many steps you take if you don't already. If you do, um, it's pretty cool. I'm averaging between 9,000 to 12,000 steps a day, and that's just around here, really. You know, back and forth to the laundry joint. back here around the yard for the dogs. Go pick up the mail, and then sometimes I'll do things in like not necessarily intentionally, but it won't bother me as much. Like if I like say I'm in the laundry room and I wanted to also grab a cup and put that cup in the sink, but I forgot the cup. Sometimes I'll just grab whatever it was that I grabbed, take it wherever it was going, complete that whole mission, and then come back for the cup and make the cup like a secondary mission or like the next thing to do. And it's so funny because I get a lot of steps in that way because it's just making myself take extra steps. I just got to go and you just do it. And I'll like that'll be my forethought. Like I'll just say to myself, you know what, just take the extra trip. Just make an extra trip out of it. Why not? You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna hurt, and it's only gonna get you more steps in on the day. And that's what I'm always trying to do is top my number, get to the next number, get to the next. So, excuse me. That's definitely a plan. Not always the plan, but definitely a plan, and it works. It gets me around here a lot, and then by the end of the night, when I'm looking at my watch, see how many steps I took by the time I crash, I'll be like, yo, man, I got in like 12,500 and some odd steps, or whatever it was that I accomplished. And then I feel accomplished because I feel like, dang, dude, cool. Like, so on top of the run in the morning, I and some lifting or whatever with free weights or, like I said, the pull downs, the Bowflex guy. Regardless of what it is, I'm getting it in. And then if I get in those extra steps, I just feel a little better about getting that in, you know. Um, and then don't let there be yard work or anything extra to do, because then that comes 13, 14,000, and that's even more. And then I'm even happier. So you know, um, yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, I definitely can say that I do not have any complaints. But yeah, so that's my health chop segment for today with the dad chops, where we chop it up, dad style. That's right. So, uh, movies. I have watched a few movies over the last couple of days. Well, I guess when having a chance. They're all on Netflix. I've watched the one wasn't necessarily a movie; it was Cobra Kai series, and The Imperfects was also a series. But, oops, sorry. Nonetheless, the Cobra Kai was cool because it was like the latest season because I've been up on those, and so yep, won't spoil that for anybody who's watching. Enjoy it, you'll dig it. The story's cool thus far. Got a little bit cooler. Um, The Imperfects, that was cool. Like kind of a superhero, anti-superhero, like kind of show, and the manifestations that are going to be coming next season on it. What? I was like, yo, that is crazy. So like it's gonna be like an evolution in the next season of these kids' abilities and powers, but it's a cool show because they have them, don't want them, and then in the end, yeah, it's like, yo. And then when they show you what's gonna happen next season, that little, hey, check out what's coming. I was like, yo, my mouth is already watering for that show. So, The Imperfects, Netflix, and Cobra Kai, Netflix, if you're not already on it. And then Shang Wang on Netflix, this comedian. Man, dude was funny. The only joke that he told for me that kind of dated me, I guess, if he's a young, because he looks like a young comedian. As a young guy, he said that they had changed his favorite candy bar and took the almond out and made it just Mounds. And so he was complaining about the fact that it was Mounds, and Mounds isn't like great because it's just like a mound of chocolate and coconut. And I laughed because I thought about when I was growing up, the whole campaign. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Peter Paul, I'm a Joy's got nuts. Peter Paul Mouse don't because. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. And then in between that, there was ahoo, ahoo. Yeah, um, that's how I always knew what they were. And I don't do coconut, so I wasn't eating either one personally. That's right, not eating either one. Yeah, definitely not happening. Ain't no coconut, man. My grandma used to make coconut cakes and stuff, or make cakes, ice them up, throw some coconut on them for my cousins' birthdays and stuff. They'd be having that slice of coconut iced up cake. But they'd always make me a cake with no icing, just some butter over the top, yellow cake. I'm good. I personally do not need icing. Yes, it is not a necessity. Um, I just like the cake part, right? So, and of course, if it's a yellow cake and it's sweet and buttery, oh my god! Like, come on, man. I was doing that before I had a butter cake per se. You know what I'm saying? Made my own at home. Butter cake, butter chuck cake. So cheesecake is over here, sweating me to pet her. Huh? Cheesecake. Huh. Yeah. All cranium. Let's see. So I'll bring you into the audio on this side of the world. And this is Cheesecake, even though you can't see her whole head. She's here. Just chilling. What are you doing, girlfriend? There she is. She's like, dude, just pet me. I don't really care about too much else. Just pet me. So yeah, she's getting some loving. So yeah, but it's just kind of like I guess if you get a chance to check out the Shane Wang dude on Netflix, because the dude was pretty freaking funny, and I enjoyed a lot of his jokes. Like when he told jokes about Costco clothes and stuff. He's just funny. He's just a funny dude. Because I know I found myself making the purchase of a couple of Kirkland shirts from Costco. So as he had jokes about that, I thought to myself, this guy has got a funny bone. Oh man. Still pondering this surgery. Still thinking about what's gonna happen with this thing, man. I'm Because it is coming. I My nerves are quite active. It's kind of like anxiety, I guess. And I'm just anxious about it. Like I'm really thinking about it. It's what? Like I'm getting into like the third week away. So, it's coming. I'm trying to think about afterward and how awesome it's gonna feel and be, not to bend over and hear my stomach squish because of the hernias that are there. But I'm just nervous about the path it's gonna take to get there. But I will say, uh, we'll get there. We'll get through it, right? So on to some sports, chap. Just about football, really, and you know where I'm headed in just a moment. My fantasy football for real though is serving me all right this week. Last week I did not put Patrick Mahomes in, which was a mistake because I decided I was going to run with Dak, whom got injured, and then of course Mahomes had an incredible freaking fantasy output in his first game, right? So I lost that game. Had I put him in, I think I wouldn't. I don't believe I would have had to make any other adjustments because he attributed for an incredible amount of points in the first game, and I just needed to run with him. But nonetheless, I didn't, and I did this week, and he did average because he actually didn't even match the prediction. So I was like, all right, well, that's cool. I took what he gave, and thus far, it is, I think, what held me in the lead because Matty Iceberg didn't show up. He got 7 points, and I got 27 with Mahomes. And the only thing I've got to wait for is the outcome of tonight's game with one of the tight ends from one of the teams that's playing. I didn't really look, but nonetheless, that game goes down tonight. And I don't think that tight end's gonna be able to make up the amount of points my opponent is behind. So hopefully I'll be 1-1 after this evening's game. And I used the Chiefs defense and Patrick Mahomes, and Chiefs defense got me 9. Had I used the Atlanta Falcons defense, because I also have that defense as my secondary defense, I would have had 14 points. It went off. So I'm gonna have to see who their next opponent is, and then don't underestimate their powers. Yeah, right. So on to Dallas because you knew I was going there. I really like to know what Mike McCarthy's thinking. I really would. Um, he didn't take that penalty in the fourth, which would have given us, I think, 1 yard because we got two with the play we ran. It would have given us 3 yards, I believe, which the yard really wasn't in my head as much as they went from 18 and put 24 seconds back on the clock because it was 18 seconds. So they put it back up to 24. It would have been a first down because it would have been a new set of downs to just take that. And then I'm just saying, you with clock management, like plays to the outside, just throw and run out of bounds. Milk. Not. I mean, you can. What I'm saying is milk the clock for as much as you can to try to get down the field as far as you can to see if you can get in the end zone because you have that opportunity. Just a little bit. But at the same time, if you have a kicker that you feel is reliable, which I wasn't sure that Maher was that guy because he's missed from 35 before. He's missed from, close range and not hit. And so I know his three longest were, over 60 yards, 63, 64, whatever. He's got 3 career longs like that. He hit a 54 earlier in yesterday's game. So when he hit the 50, I was super happy because I wasn't sure that was coming my way. So yeah, that was like wow. But he did it, and Dallas wins the game. Let me do this real quick. Yeah. Yeah. So anyhow, Dallas having successfully won the game, I was like, all right, coolness. So, you know, seemed quite exhilarating. It's funny though because where I live, we don't live in like the Dallas market, so they were showing the Broncos game in this market, and then they were showing it everywhere that I had access to. And then my dad calls me up and tells me Dallas was on his TV. And I said, not in my market. Of course, he lives over in St. Louis, so he was getting to see something a bit different than I. So I was like, all right, well, it's cool. And then my daughter's boyfriend came over, and I was trying to find anywhere to watch the game, and then he happened to have the app connected to the NFL thing that his dad got, and so he threw that on the laptop. We plugged in, we watched, and it was like, thank goodness. So I did get to actually see the game. I didn't just have to listen to the game and try to envision what it looked like when I'm like, gosh, man, this is crazy, man. So it was good that we got to see it, and it was a good game, and we got to see what happens next because everybody's saying Dak might be back a little sooner than not. So I guess we gotta see what's up because it's projected 4 weeks, and now all of a sudden JJ is talking about him playing potentially against New York, which is this weekend. It's this next week. So that's not 4 weeks. But as he said, you got to check the grip, make sure he can hold the ball, make sure he can, because that's what I'm saying. I mean, the quarterback has to have a tremendous amount of hold to be squeezing the crap out of the ball in the position where they squeeze the ball from to throw, to all take their arm back, the way they wrench their arms back and throw the football. There's mechanics to passing, clearly. And the dude's got to be able to hold the ball, period. So, I mean, no matter how quickly you want to rush yourself, unless you have like the infinite grip machine and you just sit there and you're just doing that. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, the technology that athletes have access to is tremendous. So, his recovery could be shorter for sure, rehabilitation. Plus, he may just have a tolerance for pain. I mean, it may still hurt, but he knows that he can grip, at that pain level while it's healing. I mean, and the only thing I guess it's healing is the repair at this point, right? So the repair's already been made, and as long as him playing isn't gonna discombobulate it in any way or re-injure it already, I'm like, then go if you can go. But if you can't go, don't go because I don't need you. I mean, you were already off in your first game. Not trying to, jab, 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 but just saying, if you were already off in your first game, don't come back too early and just be off. That's no fun for anyone. So, come on, bro. I mean, I think that Dak is a good quarterback. But it doesn't matter what anybody else says because I know what I've seen and I know the numbers I know. So that's where my belief comes from. Tony Romo, I believed in Tony Romo the whole time too because Tony Romo was an awesome QB. He just blundered every once in a while, and Dak is the same. Like, they're not freaking perfect. Um, the one thing that I am going to say that I see though is that, wow, man, I've seen Tom Brady upset, but yesterday's game, that dude was ready to blow a gasket. He was just hot the whole game. I've like never seen him yelling that much. Like I've seen Tom Brady flustered. I've seen Tom Brady be like, okay, getting taken out of his element. He's not in his comfort zone. He's getting touched too much. I've seen that. We've all seen that. But yesterday was kind of like the highest amount of pistivity that I think I've ever seen him take himself through. He was super upset. I mean, every time they showed him, he was screaming. You know what I'm saying? Or you saw his mouth moving. He was saying something extra because he was just frustrated. And I was like, wow, like that's how you take Tom Brady out of the game, man. And I was like, wow, they did a good job at that, but still could not pull out a victory. And yeah, bad, bad. So I guess him and the fans are gonna have a spiel with one another, because you can't just, you're like, everybody considers you the GOAT, man. And even though you guys won, they did not win. I repeat, Tampa Bay did not win off of the prowess and craftsmanship of their QB yesterday. They won on the power of their defense. So their offense, yeah, they scored. It's Tom Brady. You expect that. But winning the game, taking the game to the finish line, defense stepped in and made a contribution for a pick six. I believe it was a pick six. Fumble recovery. Whatever it was, didn't matter. They made it back to the end zone for their points on special teams or what's not. And then our defense. And then I guess a kick, field goal. But yeah, it wasn't all under the guise of the great Tom Brady. And that's what I'm saying. He got taken out of the game yesterday, and the team, still managed to forge forward and win, which is exactly what team means. It's a team event. Everybody's involved. So let's go win. So I get that. And I'm like, and that was dope. But yeah, to continue to tip your hat to Tom Brady like this dude is not human. He's human, man. And if you can tap into that human element during the game, you can shut all that greatness down for at least your game. He'll rebound. His offensive line will protect him in the next game for sure, because they got scolded. And not just scolded. Like, I could understand the frustration. Like, he didn't have the pocket to really throw in, because it was clean. I mean, Tom Brady's still Tom Brady. But again, the receivers got to catch the ball. I mean, they got to be able to move, man. And, that offensive line is not keeping people off of him. But how about that Micah Parsons kid from Dallas, right? Dude is a monster, man. Like I'm saying, like 4 sacks already on the season, man. Averaging what? He's going to average 2 sacks a game, or better. And all I'm waiting for is Trayvon to get his timing right. That's all that's going to be about. At some point, he's going to just see something, and then that click is going to happen again. And I'm pretty sure, not to say that he'll be the leader in interceptions again or what's not, but I'm pretty sure he's due for a few, because he only missed by, a half a foot step forward, a full footstep, 2 steps. He's out of the play by no more than 2 steps with his arm extended and still in the play, So, like I said, Trayvon, he'll get it. It'll come, and when it does, it's gonna be dirty. So yeah, because Micah is showing. I mean, the whole line yesterday, the whole defensive team was like on point. Dorrance Armstrong, I mean, all like everybody. I mean, even freaking Van Der Esch was howling. You know what I'm saying? So defense is roaring right now. Defense is handling the business. Now we just need the offense to click a little bit better and utilize the weaponry I know they have. See what I'm saying? Look at Brown yesterday. He was clowning, man. He was getting the ball, but he was getting it from the guy who got all the reps during the preseason. That's my whole point about not letting your main quarterback play during the preseason. It's lame, that is, because you gotta have this guy on the field, man. He's the leader. He has to assess their speed. He has to gain their trust, and they have to trust one another for that rhythm to come to light. That's how it works for a quarterback. He's in sync with his wide receiver, but he's in sync with his wide receiver from the aspect that he knows where he's going to be, because he knows his speed. He's already put these things together, so he knows where he's at and all that. So I honestly think that, he can step it up, man. He could do so much more. But yeah, football was good this weekend. So, again, thanks for listening. Thanks for checking me out here on Dadchop, where we chop it up, dad style. And this was Chuck in the Dad Lab. And I'm just going to say, peace till Wednesday. You know, we'll see. Because I'm thinking this Monday thing might work out better. More attendees on Mondays. But I'll talk to y'all later. Peace. Right here on Dadchop. Dynamic astronomical dudes and dudettes side. I won't forget you, ladies. All right, let's keep taking care of those kids. Peace.
I remember how I felt when each one of my babies was born. The amount of warmth and overwhelming love I felt was bar none. We as dads aren't always